Yeah, most welcome back from the break. Just gone by was Goddess of Sports, Precious Azuma, giving us sports and minutes and all the details that's happening in the world of sports. It's time now to be seated and have a conversation about something critical that we've been talking about in the past 3 weeks, and we are here to run it all up on the conversation of how to grow that business. Okay, so we've been talking about starting the business, and when you start, how do you grow it is the conversation we'll be having for the past 2 weeks. Today, we are hoping that we're able to run it all up together, and then should you have any thoughts or comments or ideas about everything else we are discussing today in respect to being an entrepreneur and starting your own business and having to grow it, please do well to join us on our WhatsApp line, which is on your screen, the left-hand corner. Pick it up, send us a message. Alternatively, you can send us a message on our YouTube channel, which is HSTV GH Live. You can send your comments over there as well. My producers will send them to us, and then we'll ask the questions. Hopefully, if we have enough time, we may activate the phone lines later on, and then you may call and then ask any questions there may be. All right. So the usual suspect that we've been having, he has an MA in communication development. He is a manager or the owner of Psych Ghana, as well as a managing partner for Globe Productions. I'm talking about the man James E.K. Bedema, joining us today once again for the conversation. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
Great. And you?
I like your African prints, looking quite spiffy today.
Thank you.
Yeah, the kind of person who don't like about foreign tie and often than not, I always see you in African prints. Yeah, you're living the Ghanaian dream.
I tell you, where the dollar is going, if we don't patronize our goods, our economy will crash. So we have to come back and patronize our goods.
I'll learn from you.
I like what's on your right wrist as well.
Oh, thank you.
Is it fashionable or functional?
It's fashionable.
Okay, so yeah, we are seated. My co-host and I are here to be asking the usual questions. So we've been talking about a lot of points as in the previous weeks. So quickly we jump into where we left off. The next point has to do with you may make mistake. Don't quit. Just learn from it and move on. Very critical point of moving on, because it's not often easy for people to move on when they make mistakes and they're supposed to get up on their feet and then make the next or necessary adjustment and move on.
Yeah.
Key amongst this is the lesson you learned from the mistake. How do you do that?
Okay, first of all, it is very important to put it out there that there is nothing to learn from winning, because
there's nothing to learn
from winning.
From winning?
Yes, for you personally, but for others, they can learn from how you did it. But for yourself, you know what you did. So there's nothing for you to learn from how you did it, from winning. But there is everything to learn from losing or failing, because you know what you did wrong. So you have to go back and learn and understand what you did wrong, so that you pick it up from there to do better. You understand? So there's nothing to learn from winning.
But in your attempt to win, you might also probably, okay, so this is it. I have a target of, say, hitting 10,000 Ghana cedis by the end of August.
Wow.
And then I was able to get quite close to 10,000. Let's say I got 9,999. I'm almost there.
Yeah.
I won. I could possibly say I've won.
Very good.
But there could be something to learn that if I had done one or two things better than what I did earlier, I would have even gone to 11,000.
Very good. So you want to learn from what did not make you achieve that target, which was a shortfall from losing. But you're not trying to learn what made you got that target, because you knew what you did. You knew that you planned, you were waiting for your salary, or you were waiting for some gig from here and there, and the gig came, and if not the credit you bought on the way, if not the shoe, if not the how you couldn't defend your budget, the fellow could have paid that money. This week, after when I said 10,000, he didn't even bargain. I should have said 12,000. So you knew that there was something you did right, which the only thing that you want to back up was the little error, the little left back. That, or I don't want to call it failure, because you've achieved 99%. So the little
margin of error
that you want to just stop up, which is the learning from the mistake. So it is more important to emphasize on that people should learn from failing, because there's a lot to learn from failing, so that you wouldn't give up. Because the only difference between the successful people and the unsuccessful people is that the successful people, when they fall, they rise back quickly and move on. How did they rise back? They realize that they didn't do it well, quickly pick up the pieces, go together and take off. But for the unsuccessful person, they normally get crashed down by the failure, that they are unable to rise. Most often, the failure is it hits you so hard that you know that you are down. Waking up is a problem. But you need to be able to go within and gather yourself and come back. Sometimes also the failure becomes consistent, that yourself you need to realize that no, at this level I'm feeling too much and that this is not my area. You see, that's also you need help. Talk to somebody. Probably is the way in your approach, but quitting is not the way out, because quitting will crash you. As I said the last time, you may be doing jackets, suits and foreign wear. Meanwhile, the niche and the market now is demanding for African wear. So instead of hitting that particular door, go back, reflect, and see what else can I do. What is the market demand? What is the market demand? How can I satisfy it? Can I cast a niche for myself? That is one of the things that we are not good at. We end up copying everything. I think we'll come there the next time. But we should learn to go into ourselves and ask ourselves the relevant questions. What did I do wrong? What am I not doing right? What is? So you look at yourself, go within yourself and ask yourself, what do I start? Am I coming back to the other one? So it's like you have to question yourself and get the right answer. You always, you see, sometimes what we also do is that we rush when someone criticizes. We don't accept criticisms. Most leaders don't like it because they think that you are hitting at them. But sometimes you have to come down and take the opportunity. It is a real opportunity to get that opportunity. It's a luxury to get that, to work on yourself from somebody watching you from external, instead of you thinking that you're always right. Most people also, when you give them feedback, they'll give it to you harshly, but they go back and reflect on it. But some, they think you're attacking them and they want to hit back.
I mean, I get the explanation so far, but I really want to understand from scratch, because it looks like when you hear from the business moguls, they say that there is a need for you to fail. If you don't fail, you can't, recognize certain mistakes. And is there really a need for you to make mistakes or for mistakes to occur when you're running your business? Is it really important? Does it necessarily have to happen?
It doesn't necessarily have to happen, but you realize that it has always taken most people off track. Most people who are not entrepreneurs, who are not in the field, who just enters, they don't have the heart to accommodate the shocks. So most often when there are certain things, for example, I have a story I used to tell the young ones when I'm giving them career counseling. I tell them, Kwejo, Diago, what are you trying? He says, I'm trying to build a pot out of this clay, but I'm not making it. So what am I doing? I'm giving up. I said, okay, could you wait? What if an angel of God should just appear to you and show you the screen where you are and show you the next stage, that this you will fail, but you persist, but you become the best in Ghana, the best pot maker in Ghana, and you begin to export international. This will be your factory, this will be your this. What will you do? What will change? He says, my approach to this will change. Then ask him, how will it change? He says, I'll put in my all, I'll not give up, I'll make sure even I have to sell my last word to put it, because I have seen the future. I said, yes, close your eyes and see your future from where you sit. You understand? You fail, but you have to close your eyes and see the future from where you sit. because failure cannot be a hindrance. Falling cannot stop you. There are standing blocks on your way. Why is it that on your way going to school, your shoe gets spoiled? Sometimes your slippers get torn. Our time we wear slippers, you know. You get torn, you pick it up, and you put it under your armpit, and then you go. Sometimes you look for pen top, you break it, you cover your slippers under, and you walk to school. In the midst of the rain, you go. The sun is shining, you go. Your mother said doesn't have money today, you go. But when it comes to business, when it comes to entrepreneurship, you're starting a small business, and then there are those small challenges, either big or small, they come your way, and then you give up.
Okay, so with this kind of falls you're talking about, do we have kinds of falls? Because some of the falls, I don't know if you can pick yourself up and move on. And don't you think that sometimes it can rather make you go back and think for yourself that, okay, then maybe this is not my fault, maybe this is not the area I can excel in, so maybe I have to think of something else because of a huge loss you incurred or something?
I think this is more of a telepathy. I was thinking something similar. So what are the basic kind of mistakes, because you're talking about mistakes here. What are the basic kind of mistakes that entrepreneurs make in their attempt to succeed or grow their business that you think you've identified that we can point out? When we do that, we'll be able to probably give them solutions to it. Maybe they might succeed and not have too many mistakes along the line.
Okay, the major mistake is part of our second question. The next question we are about to
the next
deal with.
Okay. The next point.
To also quick one, let me say, what does not kill you strengthens you. What does not kill you strengthens you. There are also, with regards to your question, not to touch the next subject, but there are also economic fundamentals which can also hit you.
Okay.
Like what is happening right now. I've decided to go to Dubai and bring wristwatches. I have $10,000, which is converted to Ghana cedi. Okay, I went the last time, I'm back. Now, after selling all my goods, I want to go back. Now, the $10,000, which is in Ghana cedi, let me say 20,000, 50,000 Ghana cedis. When I convert today, it is no longer $10,000, but it's now $5,000, which means that
you need an extra.
By the time I take the air ticket and go and come back, the goods and everything that I'm supposed to buy would come down. I can buy more. So those are some of the factors. Those ones are what you call the enterprise environmental factors. They're not really wrong.
And then the force majeure as well, on natural disasters and all that.
There are also wrong expectation. You start with a wrong footing, with a very huge expectation for yourself that is not realistic. You see, there are also opinions. When your survey, the survey you did, your brainstorming you did was not in depth. You see, some people want to listen to only what they want to hear. So when I come and ask you, oh, do you think this business, haven't you seen, and this is the question, haven't you seen that of late the wig business is doing well? The fellow said, yes, it's doing well. How did you pose the question? Haven't you seen that of late the wig business is doing well? But when I come and say, do you think the wig business is a viable business for me to go into? The fellow will say, oh, right now a lot of ladies are also doing African wear. They are doing the dread. And so the fellow will begin to look at the other hindrances so that you can think around it. But it depends on how you pose the question and who you pose it to. So they tell you, sometimes it's not that they're telling you what you want to hear, but actually the way you pose the question. So they tell you what, they give you the answer according to the question you pose.
So is it wrong for me to have a positive mindset or a positive energy before I start my business? If you
come to me, I have a lot of insight and foresight. So when you ask me this question, I give you the pros and the cons. But when you talk to a friend who is also fascinated about wigs, and you say, oh, don't you think that the wig business is a viable business? You say, oh yeah, so I've seen the new trend. I've seen this. Oh, a lot of people are doing it. My friend started with nothing and it's going, so okay, so we're excited. You see, but if you talk about, oh, is a big business something we think we should go into from somebody who a little understands the system? You tell you, oh yeah, the big is stretching up, but also natural creams are also coming up. So if we can do something from the natural creams from the Rastafarians, because of the dreadlocks people are doing, they want to grow their hair naturally and not add chemicals. That is also another way. So if you can make the two, you'll go far. So you begin to, oh, okay, I've not really thought of that. Okay, let me also explore that. Then you begin exploring opportunities in that angle. You see, or you have that foundation that the big business is not solely, but they're also, so you're not putting all your eggs there. So you need more. You need to do more.
Okay.
Talking. Okay. More. I don't want to say proposal. I want to say more brainstorming.
Okay.
So that people give you insight, correct. Sometimes you ask a negative question and expect the negative response. So that out of the negative response, you build it. It is also important to know that as a leader or as a business, as a CEO, your thinking is high level. It's so high level that most CEOs drop the high level thinking and expect those at the lower level to run away with it. And those at the lower level do a lot of the thinking. And sometimes they are thinking they don't see the vision you have seen. So it's also important that sometimes when you are thinking high level, you are part of the middle level thinking, so that you draw all the curves for it.
Okay. All right. I think with this, we'll move on to the next.
I was thinking we're going to touch on the mistakes so that you can be able to identify that, this is one that is not good for you to continue in that particular business field or something.
Focus on the problem.
Okay.
But in the midst of the problem is the solution.
Okay.
So when the problem is identified, we should not wait so much time in discussing the problem. This bridge collapsed, and the bridge, I saw it collapse so long ago, and I told Jeffrey, and Jeffrey did not mind me, and he said, yes, I also saw the crack. And we waste all the time having tea over the problem. Now when it comes to the solution, we don't dive into it to take a lot of, so the problem has been identified. Now, the solution.
Okay.
So that is when ideas should come in.
Okay.
If you think that your ideas are limited, come on, ask other people. They'll give you ideas, read, research into the solution so that you can get that right advice to move on.
So which people do I speak to? Do I speak with now? Because maybe before I was getting into my wig business, I asked people who are already in that space, and they confirmed that it was a lucrative one. Yeah. Now I'm incurring losses, or I'm facing challenges. Do I go back to speak with these same people on how to come out or rise up?
Okay.
Or who exactly do I speak with?
Those same group.
Okay.
Your problem.
Okay.
And then how did they? If they are in the, first of all, you talk to industry players.
Yes.
That's why it's good for you to be in a network. Okay. So when you talk to those industry players, some of them will frankly tell you their problems and how. For example, let me talk about week again. When Brazilian week came, we were all going for the Brazilian week. Then we realized that there is Mongolian week.
Yes. You are good with the weeks.
Yes. Then we realized there is Mongolian week. Then so how did you do it? So I have to start telling them that they should put some of the Mongolian weeks in. And I also realized that the customers always want new things. Yeah. They don't want to keep repeating the same thing. So what I did was that anytime I'm bringing a goods, I put in 20% of new things.
Okay.
So when my customers come, I tell them, come on, try it. Okay. So because you were so fascinated by the Brazilian week, you always go for Brazilian with one container.
Okay.
But you realize that you have to. Okay. Like we also discussed about the natural week. You realize that sometimes you can have to import the Afro, the natural Afro week for ladies, so that they can wear. And you know how all the ladies do. They touch, is that your real hair? You say yes. So we did loyal. So you talk to industry players who would open up to you. Some of them will be defending their post. But when you cast your nest wide, people would be open. That's number one. Number two, you talk to stakeholders. Other stakeholders are the buyers. My sister owns a co-store, and normally what she does is when you are in to buy some of the fish, she says, you like broilers and layers from where I buy it? They say, okay, do you mind if I get you something from Holland? Okay. He says, Holland for the also with the other. This one is sweet. So she give you one, give me feedback. Okay. So she gives you, and then you try. That is, you see, I always say that there's a lot of wisdom in how our mothers do their trade. Okay. So if we carry our books and go to any industry in local Ghana here, and we want to do 90% of the book, it won't work. We should go and learn from our mothers, because they have tried the system and they have succeeded by learning on the job. So it is very important that you learn on the job, not learn out of the job. Going to read one of the biggest businessmen in the world. what's the name? John Maxwell. You read their books, Business 101 and stuff. They'll give you, but after whatever they have given you, you need to calm down and localize it so that you put it down, to form, and then begin to pick it and fix it one after the other. But when you read and you quickly come and you think you want to apply, you would fail.
Even their system is far different from our system here.
Exactly. So, they won't fail. You will fail because in the West, you can say that you will not receive cash and it's fine. But here, if you know the shake, the 1 city transaction is hurting me than anything else.
The e-levy,
and all that.
So this Jibaku cost social strategy, it comes at the expense of your profit.
Of course.
So how do you balance that?
So, well, I think I'm not the one to answer those.
No, but you can contribute.
I told them I'm a printer, so I deal with papers as well.
Okay.
I have a supplier for papers outside, and what he does is that anytime he has a new paper, he'll give you 1 or 2. We call it box. It comes in a box. Try it and see. So he is also giving me try it and see. When it comes to me, I also give it to my most important customer. Try it and see. So when I'm giving him try it and see, he is also trying it and see. So at every business point, there is a sink in capital. You see, the sink in capital, you have to read rate of returns. It has a rate of returns in addition. It's just like when you want to catch a fish, our local people, there's a local way of catching a fish. You must go and look for a worm, a bread, and put it at the tip before you put down, so that worm will attract a fish. The bigger the juice you put at the end, the bigger. Because if you put a bigger fish, a bigger bread, the small fish cannot bite. So the bigger fish will come and bite. So the investment is second, the bigger you get.
That's Diego's favorite quote.
So,
you
shouldn't be afraid of investing into your business.
Okay.
But it is quick to say that calculatively, I think it's also at our last conversation, you invest through risks. You think through risks. Because risks is part of the business. We'll discuss that when we get there.
So once I'm out of that, and then I want to now rise and stand on my feet, it means, do I have to necessarily go in for a consultant this time around? It would mean paying extra money and all of that.
That is it. You see, your business is not defined for our so-called consultants in our society here.
It's like because you made a mistake once, you wouldn't want to repeat, so maybe you need a backup or something.
Well, the consultant is, you do a lot of deliberation. Let me tell you something in printing.
Okay.
There is a printing machine, I don't mention the name, we use, okay? And you realize that the printer, it prints sharp, but the toner is expensive.
Okay.
So, and the competition in Newtown, the industrial hub of printing, is so huge that you want your price to be cheapest. So what do? We discovered that somebody else is printing so cheap. You go and discover that he's using another brand of printing, a brand of machine. It doesn't print as sharp as the other one, but the customer doesn't see the difference.
Oh, okay.
Or the customer is not every situation that they need a sharpness. Like somebody's printing a letterhead, you don't need sharpness. So what do? You say, okay, so it makes sense to buy the lesser toner type, put it there. So that I used to do the day-by-day job, FUNA program, this and this. When somebody brings a very high quality program, I print it here. And I discovered that by talking to friends. And he said, Charlie, that guy is taking too cheap, man. And I went to friends and said, oh really? And said, yes, this is the reason. I said, oh, okay. So by talking to people, friends in the industry, you open. Sometimes, you see, you need to just buy meat. Charlie, she actually, it's fine, I don't want to sit down and meat. So by meeting over a bottle of beer and some pork, people open up and they begin to discuss industrial problems. You see, this is cheaper than hiring a consultant.
Okay. All right. On that note, let me just activate the phone lines to be activated in a bit, actually. So when you make mistakes, and that is where we've gotten to so far. If you have any questions on that, feel free to send your messages to us, and then we'll quickly address that. All right. So I think at this moment we'll move on.
I have a last question on the first.
Okay. All right,
so can I move on to an entirely new business when I realize that these mistakes I committed or I made in the old one I really can't handle anymore?
That is also possible. That is when your basis of you entering is wrong.
Okay.
Your basis of you entering is that let me use feed. Every what's the name? Fish farming. They all they feed grass cutter. No, yeah, let me use grass cutter. All the fishes eat grass cutter. The grass cutter you bought, nobody is buying. For the what's the name? Fish farming, for fish farming.
Okay.
The grass cutter you brought, nobody is buying because they are complaining that the fishes, when they eat the grass cutter, it chokes their throat, so they die.
Okay.
The first hypothesis is wrong. Your hypothesis is wrong.
Okay.
Your basis of which you enter the business is wrong.
Okay.
So that you quickly go and say, okay, I'm not doing grass cutter farming anymore.
And that's fine.
If I'm doing grass cutter, let me package it for the Asian market because it's a delicacy there, but no longer for fish farming.
Okay.
So you see, there's also another opportunity. Grass cutter there's an opportunity. Maybe that one, even what is even wrong is that maybe the one that is eaten in the Asian market is red grass cutter, not the black one, not the green one. So I am doing the green one. My basis is entirely wrong. So when it is that, one of the first thing you do is you sell. If the investment is big, like a factory, a warehouse, you sell. Somebody may show interest. You see, and then in risks, it is always said that you explore the opportunities first before you share. You explore, then you share. So you explore. Who else needs this? It may be wrong for this, but it may be good for this market. So after you have seen all and you rather know here, then you sell. Okay, Diego, you are into this. I have this. Can you take a stake in my business so that when I deliver, I give to you, or you own a share so that when I do it, then you sell to the international market. So you explore all the opportunities. And sometimes when you set, you may not have the opportunity to explore well. That's why you do a lot of discussion, fora, you talk to people. And this, another company, it's an NGO, so I can mention the name, GIZ, is doing well in that industry. So you partner them, you go into their fora, you have a lot of experts there, they talk to you, they advise you about the way to go.
So I'm just, whilst you are discussing this, we're going to move on to the next thing, but your answering has given me a thought to ask. So I buy, let's say, a car for transport business. And then in my attempt to buy, unfortunately, at the beginning of it, I didn't think through what kind of car that is durable on the street. So let's say I go for these ones that has no strength much on the street, and then unfortunately I realized the income was quite low, and then I have to take out of the income also to repair the car almost every other month. So now I intend to sell. Per your idea that you have to sell, nobody is willing to buy that car because they also know that the car is problematic. It becomes a burden on me then. How do I sell it? Scraps?
Yeah, that's a very important question. In that you think that everybody know about that car. You think
maybe because the network I have, those who are already doing it are all telling me, say, Charlie, car with them, papa, car with them, papa. So I feel like, okay, then, because it's also costing me a lot.
There is also a young guy who has saved some money, and all he needs is a car because his girlfriend is giving him pressure. Some boy B is using Tico to collect his girlfriend. So you spec the car.
That's another extra
you spend
investment.
a little money to spec the car.
Okay, upgrade it.
Some blue light and give it some spray.
Work on the air condition.
And then put it out there. Show him interior pictures online. The guy sees he's interested. After all, what are you going to buy? Because you want to go into transport business. You can, something just came to mind. I don't know what I should say it, but it's okay. So you can sell that car, not how you bought it, but rather because you knew very well that that is becoming like a
liability.
You sell it off, then you go into what you want to do. And if truly you want to go into transport business and you've gone for a luxurious car instead of a hard body car, the hard body cars are rather cheaper. But even if you want to go into the transport business, which of them do you want to go? The best and the most performing transport business today in Ghana is Aboboya, the tricycle. It is the most cheapest and the most lucrative transport business today.
I've told myself I will never go and do any transport business before, no matter how you convince me with Aboboya.
Because
I will never do transport business.
Because what happens, most of the interlands, like the new sites, the routes are bad.
So
the
those
cost
ones
of
are able
shock
to
absorbers is huge. So I mean, Kaswa, my Kaswa was the name. Agape top, Agape.
Now they call it Pragia.
Pragia.
Yeah.
You know, we have
there's different
types.
Mama Kambu is also
You have the
known as
Mama
Pragia.
Pragia.
We also have Pragia.
There's
Pragia, and then we have Abubuya.
Abubuya is
Oh,
also
the
different.
Abubuya, they don't
They
do it.
They load the test
water.
behind.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Abubuya.
Yes.
Carry
So somebody goes to Mokola, bought something, Gary, or he buys Gary, Cocoyam, and all that. And she's selling in somewhere around Mayra, Agape top, or where some
Maya Fama.
So when he gets down at the main junction, he needs somebody to carry the load. And let me tell you this: that Aboboya can carry 6 drums of petrol. My car cannot carry it. Pickup can carry 4, but that car can carry 6. So that tells how robust they are. So that, and how much is that car? It's not up to 10,000.
No.
Now it's between 8 and 10.
To carry that one to there, and how much? What is the fuel consumption? It can use 1 liter of fuel down and back. So it is cheaper and it's most cost effective. But the problem is, most of us graduates, we don't want to start from the bottom. Normally, he said I was somewhere, and what the fellow was talking, the question he posed was, why should I drop my degree and start a business and entrepreneurship? I have a degree. Then I said, no. What is your degree about? He said, I have a degree in education. I said, yes, okay. So it means you can read and understand everything better than your mother who is selling the things. He said, yes. So why won't you add that your education to polish and start a business? Who told you that the degree you learned is aimed at somebody employing you? It is aimed at you taking your own life into your hands and mastering.
Sometimes it's quite a difficulty. So imagine I lose my job as an on-air presenter. Because of COVID, we're not getting advertising and we want to quit and go and do that. So I want to start something like Abubuya. Imagine people see you and they go like, hey! So that kind of perception, they'll go like, hey, I'm quite winning and they'll be alternative TV so Kasa Bofaka and then on not Abubuya, so then that kind of thing. So because of that, I might not even want to think it. So the next available option is, let me employ somebody to do it for me. In your attempt to do that, say business in the crime out.
Very good.
You end up virtually losing everything else you've invested into the business. That's why I said I've tried taxi business. I've tried what do they call it? Dispatch. Both of them, they messed me up big time.
Dispatch, right?
Yes, they messed me up big time. So I said, those kind of business, I will never venture into it. So that is at times a difficulty. You might think that okay, you're a graduate, so you don't feel comfortable going to drive or move Abubuya around and all that. So you want to get somebody else to do that for you. And in an attempt to get that somebody, business, you might start on a very good note. Oh, you're getting this, you're getting that. Then by the time you realize you're nose diving.
That's one of the most interesting stories I've learned from America. They know how to sell their stories and how to put it across. Whatever situation you have gone into, whatever experience you've had, try and learn how to package it. If you don't know how to package it, let somebody help you create your own story and market your story. Your story is part of a brand. When you're talking about brand, your story, oh, I'm Diago, I was formerly a TV presenter, and now things are not working, so I am doing Abubuya. That is part of your brand. So everybody begins to know about you, and it becomes your selling pitch. It becomes your selling pitch because everybody wants to deal with that particular, they want to know who you are and they want to deal with you. And that becomes your selling pitch because you run away with it. So you're in Abubuya. Because you know what you are doing there, you focus so hard that you don't feel there too. Because when you succeed there, it becomes your selling page wherever you are. Oh, I did this, I went to Abubuya for 2 years, I am back, now I own chains of Abubuya business, I have 1,000 Abubuyas I'm marketing, and you see anybody who wants to buy Abubuya, come to my shop, I'm selling it here, and I'm renting it. So your story should not crash you, but it should lift you. The most important thing we do as elites is that when we have shocks, normally it comes as shocks on plan. So we didn't have the budget to move into the other area. But when there's a little shocks, when the shock comes and there's a little, let me say shocks again, it comes as a shock, but you were absorbed by the industry by giving you a little layoff, something to get off.
Yeah.
Use that to start. Don't start from where you fell. Please go down. Because where you fall, when you start, you may fall again. Please go down and pick it from there. Because you know what? The competition where you fell is high, but where below is low. So when you go, you pick it up from there, and you quickly give yourself time to come back to where you were, and then you go beyond.
Okay.
So in our quest to start from where we are falling, so your money is there. You write to this media house, you write to this media house, number 2 media house, and nobody's picking you up. Accra is choke. Please, Tamale has radio stations who want somebody from Accra. Boko has a radio station who needs somebody from Accra. Nakbala and Binduri has a radio stations who want somebody from Accra. So when you get there, you are working there. You can also become a correspondent to another station in Accra. Because you understand the domain. That's number 2. Number 3, you can also begin to see the opportunities there that initially you were not
available to you.
You begin to explore. Gradually, you become a captain there. Then you decide. I had an opportunity like that. The guy went there, he's a captain. Now he's given a juicy opportunity in Accra. He says, I don't want it.
You want to stay there?
I am a captain there. Let me be a captain in my small ship. Why? Yes, sir. So it's about how you get it.
Okay.
Normally, when it comes as a shock, yes, it comes as a shock. But please, calm down and settle. Go into your closet, lock your door. It is good to cry, but after crying, the solution is, where do I go from here? It is key.
Okay.
Right, you can still send us your WhatsApp messages. We have a James E.K. Bedama, and then we are talking about do's and don'ts of an entrepreneur. And currently, we are talking about, making mistakes. Don't quit, but you have to move on. And the WhatsApp messages are all welcome. You can send them via the numbers at the left-hand side of your screen. And the first one I have here says that, hi, I'm watching you.
That we're going to look at is you should not bite more than you can chew. How do you explain that?
Okay, I have a bread. I want to eat the bread. It's a whole loaf. And I can only chew 5%. My lips and my chin can only accommodate 5% comfortably. But in a hurry to eat that whole loaf quickly, I take 10%. What happens to me? My mouth is full. I can't even use a saliva around it, chew, and by so doing, I don't even enjoy the bread. When I don't enjoy the bread, I swallow it by suffocating, and when I finish, I squeeze my face, and it's like, it's not comfortable. When you start a business and you build more, you envisage, you didn't do your survey well, and you're planning well, and you are thinking, your thinking is bigger than what the industry is giving. That is what happens at your first bite.
Business grade.
Yes. So
we've also been advised that you should dream big. You shouldn't dream small.
As big as the ocean.
Now there's a new term. Think local. Think local.
Act local and think global.
Global, exactly. Grow local. That's a short form for it. So grow local.
That's why they say you should grow local and think global. So first of all, you think what you can accommodate. But your vision, that's why in every company you have the mission and the vision. The mission is local and the vision is far.
The future.
So you don't interchange them. You don't start with the vision that, I want to go international, so I'm building quality shoes. Oh yeah, then you start going international. There's nothing wrong.
Okay.
When you have the networks to sell international. But even if your vision is to sell international, your vision is not to take over the international market overnight. So you stay in your room and design and build 10,000 shoes, and you push all that 10,000 into the US market. They have to accept you gradually before your brand begins to stay. So when you are starting a business, you start gradual in all your calculations. I dealt with somebody yesterday who said she wants to do a shuttle business. Then the father told her that she should bring her
business plan.
Proposal, not in business plan as it is, but as a cost.
Okay. Budget.
Right. So you should bring his budget, so that he will see where he can help. Then she's like, okay, she will bring the
bigger.
real. So if it is shito, you want to do shito, so look out shito, look out shito. When it gives you quarter, you may not have the money to push shit there, and eventually that money will be there. You are buying credit with it. Money with it. So be realistic in your forecasting, so that when you are realistic, the shocks that comes your way are also realistic shocks according to your size. But when you are thinking big and the big shocks come, it takes you off your feet. It's just like, you remember our days, you may not know our days, you have something called Anyado motion.
Yeah.
Why you say I may not know that?
Did you enjoy the days of that?
Yes, I know Alikutu.
You know
like
Alikutu,
that,
big thing,
right?
stuff.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Pilolo and all of that. I know.
Okay, then come in. So we have Anyado motion.
Yes.
Stay.
Yes.
You know, stay.
Stiff, you stay.
No,
Oh.
So the days of Anyado machine, when you are aware Diago is coming to give it to you, I know how to push. Like somebody from the back takes you, and you know how you fall when you are not aware. That is how the shock comes. So when you are not aware and the shock comes, it hits you so hard that sometimes your back hits the ground, boom, and it's like it sends shock waves through the body. And how to rise, look at you fall, you end up crying. You see, but when you are aware that this shock will come, you position yourself on how to fall. Even first of all, how to defend it, how to push. So in the same style in business, we should be realistic. We should open our eyes, our ears wide, and see our environment and our circumstance, so that when we are taking our steps, we take calculated steps. Because before, even when you are walking, normally when it rains and you want to walk, what do? First of all, when you put your foot down, you don't put all your weight on it. You see whether the ground is
using the toes first
before you take the second step.
Yeah, true.
It's the same way in business. When you take the first step, way where you are standing is good. Then you take the next one gradually. Then you follow gradually. But when you realize, sometimes it gets there. You are comfortable. You know, so you have to always make sure that you don't bite more than you can chew. That
you measured in your expectations and all that.
The phone lines are active. You can call us. We're talking about do's and don'ts of an entrepreneur, and we first talked about mistakes and quitting after the mistakes and manage them and then move on. Now we are talking about do not bite more than you can chew. So the phone lines are active. 0302 776 379. Call us whatever question you have, and then our guests in the house will talk about that for you. And the WhatsApp numbers are also at the left hand side of your screen. You can also head on there and then you leave your messages. So call us. The phone lines are activated so that we can get talking and get interactive.
All right.
Most often, most of the problem we also encounter is we start in pretense.
We start a business in pretense. Oh.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's good to brand, but be honest. You see, last time I said, don't deceive yourself. I don't know whether you treated that topic. The biggest mistake you can do in this life is to deceive yourself. You think you're deceiving others, but you're deceiving yourself. You don't have a shop at Mokola. There is nothing wrong to say, I have suppliers that can supply me everything, so I am dealing. Because when you start a shop at Mokola, you give yourself that wild imagination of yourself, not others, of who you are not. That wild imagination comes into your thinking and comes into your acting. So you begin to start a business to yourself with that wild imagination, and that will kill you. But when you start from your troubles and you are telling you convince yourself that it's the troubles I'm starting from, all your steps are according to the troubles. I don't have a car. I have a polythene bag where I put all my things. I'm starting from the polythene bag. I think I'm answering your question in your mind. Nobody knows that you are starting from the polythene bag. It's online. When somebody asks for the supply, you give. But don't tell yourself that you have a container. Don't start a business like I have a container and I want everybody to believe I have a container and this. You were just quiet about it. Somebody comes, I've noticed that you have black nice wear because this weekend we have it's Easter, so there's funeral at Christmas, and then Easter, so everybody wants something black. So what can you do? So okay, can get it black. Then you quickly run to your supplier and see, so you see when you have black stocks, mommy. But when you are building the idea, say you are the sole supplier, you go to China and come back. You don't go to China and come back. So when you are pushing the things online, you push with that wild imagination. And that becomes a problem. In the online business, it's not a problem. But in the business of selling copper or selling kinky and all that, you believe that, oh, at the end, the thing I come to produce, when I go, because Davy next door, everybody buys his copper overnight. When I also do my own V, it will finish. You do it V, you come, and only two people will buy.
I have a question to ask related to this, though.
But I
she has
have
a
a
message.
message here, very touching one. It says that, hi, I'm on my sick bed and learning so much from the man. I thought all is lost. We need such in society to coach us. Please, can I have his number? I can't afford to lose my business because I am sick. That's all I have and feed on with my loving husband since he also lost his job during COVID. But trust me, things are not well, but we are trusting you.
I want to tell her that COVID is an opportunity. She should think through it. COVID is an opportunity for startup businesses. Everything that comes your way, that happens in your life, is an opportunity. Explore it. Don't give up. It is not your portion to give up. You are not brought into this world to give up, but you are brought into this world to challenge and to break the odds. Whatever happens to your husband and you, it's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. Whatever you are going through, it's not a coincidence at all. And today, listening to us is not a coincidence. We're brought into your life today, divine call into your life today to transform you, to give you that hope. So, my dear, there is a lot of opportunities where you are right now. Let's rise up together with your husband, with that love. You can rise up and conquer the world. So
I'm sure by the end of the show you'll give your contact out just in case.
Let me do that. 0243 157386. 0243 157386.
Awesome. All right. So I was going to ask you this question related to what we were talking about earlier, with respect to not biting more than you can chew. So you set up a business that, let's say, you're into supplies. Supply chain management sort of, and there's this business that is fast approaching and you bid for it, but unfortunately your capacity is not, let's say, logistics. It could be logistics and supply chain. You're not able to get that kind of vehicle that you need to transport certain amount of goods, but you still got the bid, or you went ahead to get it that you can supply. Yeah, probably also they're biting more than you can chew because you don't have what it takes to do that. In that instance, should I let the business go, or I should find ways and means to still crack that whip over there?
I think that there's a demand for it. I use the gobe example that you come out to sell gobe for the first time and you did a big pot without no demand, but with an expectation that Davy sells a whole, so you can also sell. But you have started a business. You are doing one pot or one local of beans a day, and there is a demand. A company next buy. Someone called Davy Titi. The way they queue at Davy's place, and we always want her to sell it to our company where we have about 1,000 staff, but she can't. So can you bring yours there? So by that expectation, you've gone to either high or buy Aboboya, so that you can transfer your gobe, your beans to the 1,000 staff, and then eventually the business collapse. Is that what they're talking about? Eventually, the company that called you to come is no longer called.
Oh, no. It works out. All right.
It works out.
By this moment, because there's a similar story where a friend of mine is also, let's say, into the food business. I even use the logistics. They're into food business. And they've been supplying a few other people. People also walk in to buy. There's just a small shop by the roadside. And now they got a higher demand from another company. And they have a specific time period to supply. They couldn't turn it down. They wanted it because they needed the money also. So then they needed some sort of support in terms of finance to be able to galvanize all the things they need. Let's say the food items that they need to put together and all that. And it was they were struggling at that time to do that. At that point, you may even be tempted to give up and say, because I'm not getting the money to do the supply, you want to give up.
Yes.
Because you need the money and not money, because they are also struck like the people you call to even support you. Everybody's singing that song now. How do you navigate this?
That is why I think we talked about some time when I said trust is a capital.
Yeah.
Trust is a capital.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first of all, let me handle the question heads on. The most important thing I said is when there are opportunity and when there are risks, you share. In the same, when there are opportunities, you share. When the opportunity comes and you notice that you cannot handle it, you share. Because somebody also has.
Yes,
what
you
you
are
sharing the opportunity because you can't. Why do you go for loan to do a business? Why do you
advance?
Because when I take the loan, the banker or whoever I took the loan from, I must give you an interest, and the interest is I'm sharing part of my profit. It's sharing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That's what sharing comes in.
Okay.
So when you think that your capacity, you can't handle it, you share. At that point, there is one thing I've been doing, and people think it's wrong, but it's good. What do? When somebody comes to order for something I don't have, I don't want the fellow to see that I don't have. So I'll come and talk to you and get the product from you. Igbos do it a lot. They get a product from you, put it in the shop, and even when because of trust, I can tell you, come, I want to supply your goods to this, but because of A, B, C, D, I don't have the money and I don't have the goods. This person is coming to buy. Come and pose like secretary in my office and see the person and see the deal, so that when the deal good, as soon as he takes the things and gives you the money, you have your share right on.
Yeah.
The first is okay, so I'm coming. He brings his goods, put it in the shop, and show it as if it's my shop as a secretary. The customer comes, I deal with the customer, I receive the money, no, I give him his portion. Sometimes the fellow will pay 50%, but I give all the 50% to him, that take yours. So that when he brings the rest, that is for me. That is how trust is built. So
in this food business, who are you going to bring on? You're going to bring a competitor to come and supply the food.
You can bring the person who is your major supplier.
Suppliers, yeah.
Even National Buffer Stock is taking food on credit. How much for you and I? You see, there's one also thing we should know, which is factual, is that most of the suppliers, like the bean supplier, the maize supplier, they have the maize on the shelves, and after 6 months, Akate is eating into it. So
they want to
sell it off the right person to give it on, because when those insects get in, they have to sell it
lesser
as feed, and that is risky. But they just want to. I'm going into risk too much. I think so that when we get to it, I'll have nothing to say.
Don't worry.
But
I think we're going to wrap up with a risk bit.
So at the end of the day, what is happening is that you have to share, whether it is an opportunity or it is a risk. You share it. For example, how do we share risks? I have bought a concession, which is a how do you call a concession? Like a quarry site, and I was thinking that I would get metamorphic rocks. Now, when I got there, I realized that it is sedimentary rock. What do I do? You see, what do I do? I don't need sedimentary rocks. So what do? I quickly have to go and look for somebody who is doing roads, who wants those, I don't know what they call laterite, who wanted to feel, to do feeling.
Yeah.
Somebody who is doing construction, who wanted to feel it. So I quickly have to go there and negotiate with that person that will have a lot of this. If your cars come, the fellow needs it. So you're going to meet him itself. It's an opportunity for him, but he doesn't know where to get it. Somebody has rice in his. Last time, a friend of mine has to import about 2,000 sack of rice to Kumasi, and it's on credit. Why? Because the company, I don't want to mention the name, it's a government company, needs that food to share to the SS students. The fellow did this cost analysis. He said, if that thing is on my shelves, my warehouse for 2 years, I can't sell it. But if I give it to these people and they pay me back even in 1 year, it's good. And even for the risk factor, let me put the rate of what's the name, inflation on it. So he increased the price by 10%, and he still sold it out. So all he's doing it, he doesn't have money. He's broke to the core, but he's waiting for that payment. Okay, you understand? Right. So exploring opportunities are good. You have friends. So that's why I said in life, build trust. Have trusted friends from SS to JSS. Let people know you by your words. So the day you have an opportunity and you call on them, Diego, I have this. They say, oh, Kwejo is trustworthy. Let me join him. Kwejo, this guy from SS will come trust her. So your trust
It's broken.
Record is broken.
to build it.
All right. Let's take the message and then.
Yeah, the lady we encourage, she just sent a message back. She says that thank you for the comfort words. I won't give up. I'm tearing here. Can't thank you enough, and God bless you all. My name is Debbie from Kaswa, Millennium City. So that's Debbie.
Unfortunately, Mr. Bedema, our time is not on our side. So I want us to blend these three things. So stay calm and cheerful even under pressure. Don't be greedy. Be creative and always add new ideas and think your way through risk.
Okay.
Let's put this together.
Okay, stay calm. Sometimes you get overwhelmed when we had our first bite and it is juicy and it is interesting, it is sweet, and it is so much good news that we want to quickly go and then grab all. No, stay calm. Stay calm. Don't rush into taking decisions because that will cost you. The way you thought through, you took time to think through your first step you took. Please take the same time in thinking through the second step, because when people think or see that you are doing well, they come with all sort of things. Oh, my brother, my cousin has this goods from China, and I want to give it to you to sell. For all you know, it is the car you branded, the kitty car that has a lot of problems that you just branded to sell it off. It comes like so much of a good news. Oh, my auntie from Dubai has this goose and it's his warehouse. I want to give all to you for you to sell. And then you say, oh, what is the price? It's cheap. Well, last time in your mind you sold this and so you are making thousands profit. Quickly, you take all your money. You will give me a loan. You add it. You buy it. Before you realize it's not moving. So please stay calm.
Okay.
That's the stay calm aspect.
All right.
And then don't be greedy. For most entrepreneurs, that is what kills us. Greediness is a double-edged sword. What do I mean? It goes vertical and horizontal. Vertical is you and your colleagues, and then like you and your superiors. Like for example, somebody is supplying you, a company, somebody is supplying you something, you are selling, you share the profit. Then because you think that now you got it all, after doing that business, you cut him off. You just cut your umbilical cord off. Because he supplied you the business. So cutting him off means that you didn't give him what is due, you decide to step in at the back. You've just cut your umbilical cord. You've cut your cord to survival.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. James. At this point, we really need to wrap up. I have a lot of questions about that business greed aspect, so maybe we'll have you some other time and then we tackle the last 2 points. Give us your contact details and then we can leave.
Okay, I'm James Bedema on Facebook, James Bedema on Twitter, everywhere, James Bedema. And then you contact me on my phone 0243 157386 0243 157386.
Thank you very awesome. Much. And this is how we wrap up on this segment. My name is Stephanie and Georgina Manyana together with William Diabo Pakabeni. We're going to take a quick turn. When we come back, JK will be on with entertainment.
Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. For I am gentle and lonely in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. I am thine, Lord. I have heard thy voice, and it told thy love to me. And I long to rise in the arms of faith thy love to me, and I long to rise in the arms of faith and be closer to thee. Draw me nearer, nearer, bless the Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Abagoshataya. Draw me nearer, nearer, bless the Lord, to thy precious bleeding Son. Draw me nearer, nearer, bless the Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw me nearer, nearer, bless the Lord, to thy precious bleeding Son. I am thine, O Lord. I have heard thy voice, and it told thy love to me. How I long to rise in the arms of faith and be closer drawn to thee. Father, draw me nearer, nearer, bless the Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw me nearer, nearer, bless the Lord, to thy precious bleeding Son. Draw me nearer, nearer, bless the Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw me nearer, nearer, bless the Lord, to thy precious bleed. So nearer to thee, nearer to thee, Lord, draw me nearer, nearer to thee, nearer to thee, nearer to thee. Oh Lord, draw me nearer, nearer to thee. My songs every day, Father, draw me nearer, 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 nearer to thee. My songs every day, Father, draw me closer. Ay, 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 ay. Draw me closer, closer to thee. Ay, 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 Basha. Say closer to thee, closer to thee. Oh Lord, draw me closer, closer to thee. Closer to thee, closer to thee. Oh Lord, Abaroshaya, draw me closer, closer to thee. Father, my son.
Yeah, so indeed we are pleading the Lord, to get closer to him. It's still Healthy Morning right here on HSTV, and JK, I'm seated with one of the apostles of God. I have Thaddeus' presence, and as you can see the video that played earlier, we are drawing the presence of God closer this morning. Thaddeus, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I like what I just saw, the worship and everything. It's quite an interesting one. Day to day, we need stuff like this, to keep us motivated and draw close to God. You're welcome again.
Thank you very much, JK.
So let's talk about your style singing? I know you are a gospel musician,
Sure.
but where do you find yourself when it comes to the style?
You can find me everywhere.
You're versatile.
I'm versatile, yeah.
Praise and jam.
I do everything.
And,
I do a little bit of even rap. So,
Rap as
yeah,
well.
so I'm versatile. I mean, I believe it's the grace God has given me
Nice
that level. But I'm more focused on this kind of, you know,
Soothing worship.
yeah, soothing worship, you know, the R&B. I mean, yeah.
And how many years in the industry now?
whoa, about 24 years.
24?
Yeah, because it all began out 1998.
Okay.
Yeah, so 24 years down the line.
24 years down the line. And I can see you do more of church.
I do more of
ministry
church.
in
Yes.
church. And why is this so? Why just the church not coming out to, you know?
Okay, I believe that there's a season for each and every one. Yes, I don't do church alone. I do God a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of a couple of songs out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just believing I'm trusting God for the right time to just
Shoot it all
shoot
out.
out. Yeah.
Okay, well, I just want us to still stay in churches. You know, the perception we have with people who sing in church. You know, we have pastors, or let's say the people in the church, not really supporting their own until they see them, you know, being coming bigger and like limelight before they throw, you know, their weight behind them. What do you think about that?
Wait, this question never came up. Trust me.
We need to talk about it because it's very necessary. We have a lot of talent.
Yeah,
who are really great, but you know, they are still in the church.
JK, I don't know how to answer this one. I don't know because it's a big thing that I believe. I'm not the only person, but thank God my pastor is doing well in that area. For me, I don't know about others, but it's something serious that we are trusting God that this whole thing, because it's serious. There are giftings in the church, great guys, great minstrel, but I don't know why they have to wait for them to be in the limelight before they claim. No, I believe that it should be done now. I don't know the reason. I don't know why. But we are just trusting God to see the way forward. But
you know, I'm still staying in the church because you know, we find ourselves in a space where when these artists are not artists, I would say like ministers are ministering in church and they try to, you know, put up concerts. They want to be out there. You know, the pastors and the church members, hey, on Pesa Hombrasi now, you know, we want to see him all over the place and all that. It's quite disturbing.
It's true. It's true. It's true. It happens. It happens. You see, but I believe that if pastors want to help their ministers in the church, it should be now.
Yeah.
You see, because it's quite a challenge for a lot of. That is why you see them moving out, and you will not understand why they are moving out because they feel that they have something within, but the pastors are not helping build it. Exactly. So I'm still looking forward that this whole thing will be, because you don't wait. Sometimes it happens. There are places I've been by the grace of God, but I have to just move out because some men of God will appreciate the gift, but not even the person. And when you try to pull yourself up a little bit, you become, you know. But this issue, I don't know how I may step on some toes that tomorrow, so that I'm very careful about this. But it is my prayer that God will help us. God, guys we have out there, if they were not supported by their pastors, so they can boast of them that my pastor did this, my pastor did that. That is why I've come this level. So that when they even hold concert, their pastors are there because they know that I'm. By the grace of God, I've been able to groom a lot of people. And when I see all of them ministering, they mention my name, I'm happy. You get that feeling that, at least been able to, you know, do something. I don't see why they're not willing to support their own,
So we watched a video of you, praising, you know, what the worship and everything. Let's talk about some challenges. I know we have musicians and gospel musicians, and you come out to motivate people, encourage them with your music. How are you able to pull yourself together when you are in your down moment?
Oh, wow, this is a good one. I'm the type who love to stay in the presence of God a lot. I enjoy what you just watch, yeah, because it's not easy. But one thing that really has brought me this far is my wife, because you see, she knows me too much that when I'm down, she knows, what to do to help me come alive. And I think one of the areas is what we just watched. I just love to stay in God's presence, and she has been encouraging me a lot in that area to be able to. It's not easy. When I go where you have all these things, and Charlie, it got to at some point in my life I just wanted to just end it all, because I realized that, Charlie, you can't see ahead. It's like you are blocked. There's nothing nothing. That kind of moment in your life where you feel that, Charlie, you're stuck, Charlie. You need to just end it, and then just knowing that you have something. You see, but you can't get help anywhere to be able to get to where you want to get. This is what I do. This is what God has given me. So it's not been easy, but by the grace of God, Charlie,
you've been able to prove.
We've been able to prove through.
You say you wanted to stop at a point. Was it that you were switching from gospel to do?
No, I wasn't switching. I just wanted to stop everything music. Everything music, because let me enter. I used to work in the secular world of bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you doing then?
I was into banking a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So getting some those here and there. But I was this is my life.
Okay.
Music is my life. I'm 100% Christian. So you see, where just as you are saying, you go through certain stuff, and Charlie, you feel that, Charlie, no, let me just switch and go back to where I was really making it, and then, Charlie, that kind of thing. So that was the whole thing, because you could see that, Charlie, there was no help coming anywhere. But by the grace of God, I've been able to pull through, big time by God's grace, and thanks to my wife, trust me. I will mention her to the program, because she's been an amazing woman. Yeah.
So quickly, let's touch on your current project. What's in the pipeline for Thaddeus Presence?
Good. Thaddeus Presence, we have a lot of projects, but one major project, by the grace of God, I'm working on. It's couples in worship, which is already in the system.
Couples in worship.
Yeah, I bring couples together. Yeah, for married couples.
What about singles?
It's coming. Okay. It's coming. But I believe that this is the area God really wants me to touch on for the time being, before switching to other areas. And this is my measure. Yeah. Couples in worship is